Hello, I am the Retro Game Fox, and this is my review of the Radio Shack TRS-80 pocket computer. It was released in July of 1980 and is among the first pocket computers out there. It is not technically qualified as a programmable calculator. It is a full-fledged computer. It has 2 kilobytes of RAM, 1.5 usable to the user for programming. It has a 256 kilohertz 4-bit processor. And this is actually the TRS-80 pocket computer by Radio Shack. Is actually a rebranded Sharper pocket computer. Sharper came out with the first pocket computer available, and Radio Shack, took it and rebranded it under the Tandy name. They were actually not that expensive for 1980. They were around $250 to buy them. $230 was the price for this particular type. And for a full computer in your pocket to be able to do calculations and stuff was not too terribly bad. I know a little bit of BASIC, but when I got this thing, I had to completely relearn BASIC because Tandy computers, the TRS-80s, use a special Tandy version of BASIC, which is slightly different than the versions of BASIC that modern computers use. But I was able to get a little bit of a test video to going, or a test program running for this video. Enter. Hello. It's not a bad little computer. I picked this up for $5 at a yard sale. It's in pretty decent condition. It's got a bunch of scuffs around the label. I think someone thought the batteries are under there. It's a little scuffed on the back, but it has all the information, including the serial number. I don't know how well that shows up on camera. It's an HD camera, should be able to see it just fine. Yeah. On the front you have the full Qwerty keyboard. You have numbers for calculator, and to do a calculation you just go back to remove that. Let's say 9 times 9, enter, would be 81. And let's say 9 shift is greater than 2, enter would be 1, which means it's true. Well, let's try. 2 is greater than 9 is 0, as in it's false. So it can do some algebraic equations and mathematical calculations. It runs. When I got this thing to test it out, I couldn't find I couldn't find batteries that were 100% compatible, and I don't know how well it shows up on the camera. But you can see the contrast of the screen. You can see the little fade in the back. That's because the screen is getting more voltage than it's actually asking for. The device wants 5.4 volts. It takes 67 or 675 type batteries, which for button cells are 1.4 volts. These are LR44 batteries, and they put out 1.5 volts. So it's receiving 0.4 volts more than it wants. It's not going to hurt the computer. It just distorts the contrast a little bit. If I put the proper batteries in there, the screen would be perfectly fine. So let's turn it off and take a look on the inside. Let's get out a little Phillips head. I'm not just taking this apart to show you. This is actually how you have to replace the batteries in this thing. Put a screw there. And you have to also try to remember what direction these go in, because some of them are slightly longer than the other ones. Oops, I can't get that one. There we go. Yes, my hands are a little dirty. I've been doing a little bit of work. See, that one's smaller. I can't get that one's out all the way. And I'll show you the inside of this thing. These two are smaller than those ones. And there we go. You have the main logic board here. Here is, I believe, the ROM. You got a piezo or piezo, however you pronounce it, speaker here. That's what was making the beeping before. You have 3 button cells here, and you have a 4th button cell here. And at first what I thought was, oops, kick the camera. At first I thought that this was a battery for memory, so when you replace these 3 batteries you keep memory. But then again I remembered the voltage, so that obviously was not it. So I looked closer, and these are all synced up in serial, and why they did it this way I don't understand. They could have just had, you know, 4 of them running serial across, but they decided to make in this feet right here. I'd show you a little bit more, but I'm kind of a might as well. Won't hurt it. It'll, at least I hope I don't. If I do, I can probably fix it. Put those over there. Did I get them all? I think I got them all. It's a little stiff. Ah, okay. That's why, because it's soldered together. You can't take it apart. But inside there, you can see 3 chips. Those are the display drivers for its dot matrix screen. Those are down there. I don't know how well you can see it, but those are ROM chips. Or not ROM chips, those are RAM, and those are ROM. And this is the main CPU. So, you know, I will show you guys a little bit in there. Now I shall put it back together because this thing is very old and I'm glad it works. And I don't want it to stop working, because I like old things like this. And there's the button for the reset. Be careful not to push that. Put it back together. I have a feeling if my buddy Jim's watching this, he's yelling at me for screwing down all the screws first instead of just... Why can't I get this one in? Come on. Don't be a butthead. Just go in there. There we go. I'll do these last screws properly. It's a hint, when you put things together, don't screw the screws down until you have every screw into place. Sometimes it'll cause it to become misaligned and you won't be able to get one of the screws in. It just saves a little bit of time. There we go. And that's the computer. Let's turn it on. See if my program's still in there. Hey, it's still in there. Hello, I am a TRS-80 pocket computer from 1980. Enjoy. Very simple to use. Maybe one day I'll show people how to program this. Oh, and on the side I forgot, there is the connector for the printer or cassette adapter. The printer actually has a cassette adapter built into it, but for cheap people you can just get a quick cassette adapter. That's so you can load the programs onto an audio cassette just like a Commodore or any other TRS-80 computer. And that would be the dog trying to get in, because I don't want him in. But anyways, that would be the TRS-80. If you have any, I will hopefully do a review of this in the future with a cassette or printer adapter to show how that works.